All right, so we are starting off with this extra credit packet. So towards the end of the video, I'm going to come back to this front page. Now this is where I'm going to kind of write these important concepts that we've been going over and over and that you guys need to know and you need to have down, okay? These things are going to show up because we've seen them show up. So I just want to make sure you guys get this in your head, okay? So we're going to come back to this part later at the end, towards the end of the video. So let's start off. I'm going to start off with question 3. Okay. So in the diagram below, right triangle RSU is inscribed in circle O, and UT is the altitude drawn to hypotenuse RS. The length of RT is 16 more than the length of TS, and TU is equal to 15. We want to find the length of TS, and we want to find the length, in simplest radical form, the length of RU, okay? So I'm gonna try to put this up here, just so it's slightly easier to see. Okay, so we want to find two things. We want to find the length of TS, and we want to find the length of RU. Okay, so TS and RU. All right, so let's put in our information here. So RT is 16 more than the length of TS. So TS is X, RT is 16 plus X. Okay, and TU is 15. So you first want to find the length of TS. Now, this is our right triangle similarity question. Now, if you really do not understand the ratios of short leg over long leg, separate the triangles, okay? So I'm going to separate UTS, so just so you guys can see it. TS. This is just be careful though, when you are rewriting it, be careful that you put your numbers correctly, your letters in the right places. So RT is 16 plus X, so TU is 15, okay? So corresponding side over corresponding side, so 15 over X, and then 16 plus X over 15. All right, so let's cross multiply. So we get 15 times 15 is 225. Now, be careful with this. This is X times 16 plus X, so we have to distribute. So 225 is equal to 16 times X is 16X plus X squared, okay? Now, we have 8X squared, so we are solving a quadratic. Now, before we do anything with a quadratic though, the equation, we have to get 0, our equation equal to 0. Now, if you do not remember how to factor, and you are in the Regents and you get a question like this and you're stuck, go to your calculator, go to your y equals, put in your equation, x, so we have x squared plus 16x minus 225. Go to our table, and now where our y value is 0, that's going to be your x's or zeros, or where the graph crosses the y-axis, the x-axis, excuse me. Okay, so one point it's 9, 0, so one of our x's is equal to 9. And somewhere we have another x. Let's just find that. Okay, so x is also equal to negative 25. Now, this does not work because it's a negative number, so our x is 9. Okay. So that is the length of TS, so TS is equal to 9. Now, RT is equal to 16 plus X, so RT is 25. All right. So now we want to find the length of RU. So RU is this guy, so this is 9. I'm going to change this to 9. I'm going to change this to 25. okay? So, now RS, so I think we're gonna have to use a different triangles for this one. I think we're gonna have to use this big one and this one, okay? So now again, if this confuses you, separate them, okay? So this is U, S, R. So RS is 25 plus 9, so this is 34. So SU, so we don't need SU, but RU is what we're trying to find. Now we have this triangle, RTU, so I'm going to use that one. So UT is 15, RT is 25. Okay. Wait, this is the wrong one, so this should be RS. Hold on. This should be the bigger one. Wait. No, I'm right. So UT, sorry, I'm all confused here. Hold on. So this is T, this is U, and this is R. So I was right. So RU is what we want to find. Okay. And then RT is 25. Okay. Now we're all set. See what I mean? It can confuse you and it can get confusing, so make sure you be careful. All right, so let's set up a proportion. So we have y over 25 is equal to 34 over y. So y times y is y squared. And then 34 times 25 is 850. Now, if we take the square root of 850, it is not going to give us a correct answer. So they want us to find it in the simplest radical form. I'm going to take this opportunity to review how to simplify radicals. Okay, so remember, when you simplify radicals, first thing you want to do is write down all the perfect square roots. So 1, 4, 9, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100. Now you want to go up to the number that's in the square root. So we want to write down all the perfect squares up to 850. 169, 196, 225. Now, if you get stuck like I just did, what you can do, so I'm at 15 times 15, 16 times 16, it's 256, 17 times 17, it's 289, 18 times 18, 19 times 19, 20 times 20 is 400, 21 times 21 is 441, 484, 3 times 23, 529, 576, 25 times 25 is 625. It's 27 times 27. 28 times 28. 9 times 29 is 841, and because that is almost 850, we're going to stop there. Now, we start with the biggest number and we go all the way through and to see which one is the biggest. Remember, we want the biggest number that goes into 850 evenly. All right, so 850 is obviously, that's not going to go in. Those probably aren't going to go in. 76. 620, 625. 3. So those don't go in. 859, that doesn't go in. 850, 484, 850 by 441, 850 divided by 400, 850 divided by 361, 850 divided by 324, 850 divided by 289, 850 divided by 256, 850 divided by 225, close, 850 divided by 196, 169, 850 divided by 144, 850 divided by 121, that's not going to go in. 850 divided by 81, 850 divided by 64, 850 divided by 49, oh my goodness, 850 divided by 36, 850 divided by 9, oh my Jesus, 850 divided by 4. Oh, we missed, you know what number we missed? We missed 25. And that is the one that goes into 850. So, y is equal to, now, we rewrite this as 25 times 34. Okay, we separate the square roots. Okay, and that is the length of RU in simplest radical form. Okay, now if you did not want to go through all that, what you could do is you could take your number that you're trying to simplify, so y equals, do alpha y equals 850 divided by x, go to your table, and you can go through and see which perfect square numbers gives you 850. So let's find 25. Oh dear. Yeah, so 25 goes into 34, 25 times 34 is 850. All right. I'm going to let you guys go back and do number 1 and 2 on your own. I think you can handle that. All right. So now let's go to the next page. Okay. Now we are given triangle MRO shown below with trapezoid PTRO. MR is 9, MP is 2, and PO is 4. What is the length of TR? Okay, so this is TR is the one we want to find. Okay. Now, because this side is parallel and these two are similar triangles, we could use side splitter. Okay, so we could do MP over PO is equal to MT over TR. Okay, now TR is the one we want to find. So we're just going to call that X. Now MT, we don't really know anything about MT except for the fact MT is equal to MR minus TR. So MR is 9. So if we do 9 minus X, okay, now if we cross multiply, so be careful with this though, so it's 4 times 9 minus X. This is equal to 2x. So this is 36 minus 4x is equal to 2x. Okay, now we just solve for x. 36 is equal to 6x, so x is equal to 6, so TR is equal to 6, okay? Now, this is a slightly different type of question, okay? We want to find the length of DE. Now, we cannot use side splitter the way we did it up here to solve for DE, okay? So it needs to be this over whole is equal to this over this, okay? So 15 over the total, which is 24, is equal to x over 40, okay? So let's solve for x. So 40 times 15 is 600. It's equal to 24x. So x is equal to 25. So DE is equal to 25. All right. Well, let's go to 6. We actually had one of these questions. This question was on one of our multiple choices that we did, but let's go over it again. So we have triangle ABC, points D and E are on sides AB and BC respectively, such that DE is parallel to AC and AD, and DB has a ratio of 3 to 5. Okay, so AD has 3 parts and DB has 5 parts. Now, if DB is equal to 6.3 and AC is equal to 9.4, then we want to find the length of DE, okay? Now, we're going to call this a different letter, okay? Now, first of all, we need to figure out like these sides. So we're going to set 6.3 equal to 5x, okay? So x is going to equal 1.26. Okay, now we're going to go back in here to AD. We're going to multiply it by 3, multiply x by 3. So to find the length of AD, which is 3.78. Now this whole thing, we're going to need this whole thing, is 10.08. Okay. So now we have a full, we have some length, side lengths here. We can set up a proportion now. Okay, so let's do 6.3 over y and 10.08 over 9.4. Now I'm going to preface this. If this is confusing to you and you don't know how I set up these proportions, if it helps you, separate the triangles. Okay, I mean, I'm not doing that, but if that is what you need to do to understand these questions, then by all means, please do it, okay? Okay, so if that is easier for you to see, please do that, okay? So let's go back and let's find DE. So let's cross multiply. So you get 59.22. So you get 5.875. So to the nearest 10, you round up, so y is equal to 5.9. All right, so let's go to the next one. Next page. So vertex angle A of an isosceles triangle ABC measures 20 more than 3 times the measure of angle B. We want to find the measure of angle C. Okay, so we have an isosceles triangle. Now, angle A, we were told, is the vertex angle, which measures 20 more than 3 times the measure of angle B. So we're going to call measure of angle B x. And you're going to see y in a minute. So this is 3x plus 20. Okay, now in an isosceles triangle, the base angles are equal. So this is also x. Now, in a whole, all of the angles in a triangle add up to 180. Okay, so to solve for x, we are going to add these all up and set it equal to 180. So we have 3x plus 20 plus x plus x. So we have 5x plus 20. So this is 160 is equal to 5x, so x is equal to 32. So the measure of angle C is equal to 32. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at A. So what is the image of a point A after the composition of transformation is defined by this? So this is a rotation of 90 degrees. Now, if it does not have a minus sign, if it's positive, you're going counterclockwise, okay? Now, we all kind of think, oh, positive, clockwise, you gotta be careful. If it does not have a minus sign in front of it, you are going counterclockwise, okay? So when we do composition of transformations, we do the second thing first, and then we do the first thing second. Okay, so we are first reflecting this point over the y equals x line. So that's our first thing we're doing. Now our rule is when we reflect something over the y equals x, we switch them. So this becomes, we switch our x and y coordinates. So this becomes 2, 4, okay? Now we want to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. Now when we rotate something 90 degrees counterclockwise, our rule is negative y, x. So this becomes negative 4, 2. So our choice 1. Now the second one, so same thing, we're rotating this first 90 degrees counterclockwise, then we're reflecting over the x-axis. So our rule is when we reflect something over the x-axis, we change the sign of the y. All right, so we have point 1, 1. We want to rotate it 90 degrees. Again, same rule, so negative yx. So negative 1, 1. Now we are reflecting it over the x-axis. So it is number 4. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys do number 9. You could, it's just plotting and doing your rules. The only thing I want to mention is when we reflect something in the origin, our rule is when we do that, negative y, negative x, okay? So I'm going to stop there. Let's turn to the front of the page though, because I want to write something so you guys write something, write stuff, oh my god, write some stuff down for you guys. Okay. First thing I want you to write down is your equation of your circle. Okay, you need to know this. I cannot stress to you how much you need to know this. And I think you guys get how much, like, you're going to see this. There's probably going to be one question here and there on the multiple choice. It shows up. Okay, so you need to know it. Another thing that I want you to write down is ways to prove a parallelogram. Okay. I've mentioned this in class on today, which is Monday, and in class on Friday. I'm going to mention it again. Again, you need to know this. This is something you need to know. It's going to help you during your coordinate proofs. It's going to help you on those multiple choice questions when you get how can we prove this is a parallelogram, or what ways is not sufficient enough to prove something is a parallelogram, but we need to know this. Okay, so remember, opposite sides are parallel, opposite sides are congruent, diagonals bisect each other, and the same side is parallel and congruent, okay? Now, area of the sector, area of a sector. So your central angle in degrees over 360 times your area of your circle. Arc length is another one. So theta, your central angle, over 360 times 2 pi r. Okay. Something I also want you to write down, and we talked about it like kind of a while ago, but something I do want you to know is that the smallest, so if we have a triangle, the smallest angle is across, I think I spelled that wrong, I think it's 1C, across from the smallest side and the biggest angle is across from the biggest side. Okay. All right, so that is it for today. There's going to be another video, so make sure you watch that. Make sure you keep up with them. I mean, like I said, I'm going to be doing quite a bit of these questions, but try going through them and see if you do them on your own, okay? There's a lot of tricky questions, but there's also a lot of questions that I'm sure you guys can do on your own, so go try them.